do all that shit, man. I go in
Just
dry.
going
I
dry,
go in dry.
bone dry.
What? Like two. All right, let me just type in a little thing in here. What in the fuck is going on here?
You're streaming on Facebook, right?
Yeah, it's going on Facebook, and then I just upload it to YouTube after. I was gonna do because I use Streamlabs. I was gonna do like multi-streaming all at once, but I was like, man, I don't need to do that. I'll just stream here live and then upload it wherever.
Because
It's
the
just
worst comes to worst with fucking YouTube, you can always just edit whatever you want to later on.
yeah,
Just in case there's anything like somehow fucking arbitrarily fucking.
yeah, yeah. That way, if we do get taken down on here, I'll be able to I don't know, edit shit or whatever for YouTube. That way, it'll be there.
Yeah. Content's content, man.
Yep. Okay. All right, we're about to be live, and now we're live. All right, pal. How you doing? How you doing? I wish I had a name for my show and an intro and all that, but I'm not too worried about that right now. I'm just like doing this for fun and just seeing where it goes, you know?
Oh yeah, it'll come naturally, you know. Organically is the best way to come up with anything, you know. Like, let sit, marinate.
Yeah.
Soak.
You got a little setup there. Besides DJing, do you podcast yourself and stuff or?
Not really. Oh, there goes the camera. I'll just hop on Discord, fucking, like, get a couple homies on there, play some games. I'm planning on moving here soon to like with a friend of mine, and she affiliate and everything else on Twitch and all the different stuff. She streams every single day, so it's like
Oh wow.
Yeah, within a few weeks or maybe in a month or two, I'm gonna be sitting there having access to fucking all the shit to fucking stream and everything else. But yeah, no, I haven't fucking really taken the time. I just, fucking started getting all this shit, fucking, and it just,
Yeah.
here and gets like, minimal use,
Yeah, I took a good long break. I started my shit with me and Sarah Young. We were doing like some kind of like an EDM type of thing, mixed with just whatever. And then we took a break, I guess kind of when COVID started, we just kind of stopped. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. I got nothing to do. I'm going to see who wants to talk about whatever. I'm here to learn about whatever people know, and fuck, here I am, so.
Even back with that whole thing, it just makes it really hard for music when you, like, don't have something, like, tangible to work for. Because, like, well, I'm not sure what you guys were, like.
Well, we were just covering, like, the EDM scene, like, festivals, just general shit, not, like, specifically, like, with music, just our whole scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called? Fucking. Oh, you're just like reporting on it. I got
basically,
you.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Because I saw like the Paps and Trends stuff like that and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like with what I was meaning, I thought you guys were doing like something else. Kind of. Doesn't Sarah do vocals and stuff like that?
Yeah, she does. She does sing herself. She does everything. She models. She does it all, man. Yeah. We're just people who like to talk. That's all.
Hey, dude. People like to talk, make the best conversations, though. It's like, it's nothing like talking to a fucking brick wall.
Yeah, that shit fucking gets to me.
One sentence, like, one word sentence response.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Yeah. You could do better than that.
Okay, maybe. two words. Okay, either way. Let's talk about what we're here for, basically.
Yeah, weed. So, you said you were telling me you've been working for a dispensary 3 years now. What was it, Nature's Med, you said?
Yeah, Nature's Medicine. Worked both at the Phoenix, Grand, a little bit at the Fountain Hills location when I was around, fucking like a year ago or so. But it's been a journey for sure. Like going here, there, many different positions. Educating a lot of people is mostly it. Whether it's just the patient straight up, or even the PSBs, or like even sometimes you like educate your managers on stuff. It really it really depends on with cannabis is how much you feel passionate about it and how much you really do want to learn about it.
So now that there is like it's getting legalized everywhere, and this industry's blowing up. Is there going to be like any kind of like schooling going down with this?
Actually, right now there is a little bit of schooling that is going down with it. So what I like to like preface this whole thing with is, if anyone's trying to get into the actual industry,
Hmm.
it's best to be able to like know kind of what you want to do, like whether it's like in the inventory stuff, whether it's some of the horticulture stuff, whether it's just like like there's certain things you can do that you can just pretty much walk off the street
Yeah.
and not have a problem getting a job, like as a PSP, which is just basically customer service, and then honing your like actual knowledge of different products, and also like the pharmacology, if you would, of cannabinoids and the different terpenes and things to that matter. Just because it's a really interesting thing when you like, not just in cannabis, but when you start talking about like any sort of like recreational, pharmaceutical, da 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 da, da, and how different things have synergistic effects.
Yeah.
Especially like it's especially with like the different oils and alkaloids that are in cannabis itself, and just like noticing like the different things, because at the end of the day it's all about the human experience and like what you experience, what works best for you, and all that
Hmm.
different stuff. um but yeah, it's a wild world, because
You
because we were chatting a little bit before, and you said you mentioned that like every once in a while you like to dibble dabble in a little
Yeah,
heavy food,
edibles and shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
edibles are my thing. The thing is, I'm a federal employee, so it's until it's legalized federally, it's a no for me. So I kind of just got to do it on the low.
Mm.
I
No,
actually
yeah.
got a lady at work. She's been making her own shit. I don't know how she found out that that I'm open to
Mhm.
edibles and shit. And she's been giving me some. She's been making like little Rice Krispies treats and shit. And she'll be like, "Here, don't tell nobody. Here."
Oh shit, I hate this. Oh, this is bomb. Okay.
Yeah. So I gave her good reviews, and she's like, all right. She's just been giving me shit like every 2 weeks or so. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know shit about it.
Yeah, so edibles are really like one of the more interesting things to learn about. Because most people just think it's like, yeah, I have, well, obviously representation. I have fucking THC in this bottle. I'm going to
Yeah.
drink it. It's going to go into my bloodstream as THC. One of the things most people don't realize is like how edibles are measured out. It's milligrams.
Hmm.
So if you really want to think about it, 1,000 milligrams equal 1 gram of like something that's like 100% THC, quote unquote.
Okay.
When most people are smoking, you're usually intaking a lot more comparatively. Like by that I mean, you're basically, say you smoke like a fucking gram blunt, you're probably getting about 300 milligrams of THC.
Oh shit.
Will that do the same thing as 300 milligrams in edible? Anyone will probably tell you that that 300 milligrams will put you into bed, and you'll wake up the next morning feeling like a little
That's
groggy.
exactly why I like edibles. They knock me out, and then I wake up feeling so fucking refreshed, like I had the best sleep of my life.
Hmm.
That's exactly why I take them.
Yeah. So the one thing is when you actually ingest it, it it actually your stomach doesn't absorb it, your liver actually does.
Oh.
But there's actually something really interesting that happens is in our livers we have these specific enzymes. Basically, those enzymes will actually consume the THC and convert it into, from uh, technically delta 9 THC is what most of the time it'll be, to 11 hydroxy THC. This is usually what most people hear Joe Rogan talk about, where it's like you can quote him on many different numbers, where it's like 3 times more like potent, 4 times, 9 times, 11 times. Like it's more potent. It's going to be for person to person. But yeah, that's the reason why most people like low doses sometimes hit people really hard. But also along with that, the funny thing is there are also people who are have to take like ridiculous amounts of edibles in order to feel anything. Reason behind that is THC itself can actually be broken down by stomach acid and different acids and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's actually like like it's able to become neutralized pretty easily, which is a great thing for our bodies. But at the same time, if you're trying to get your effects, whether you're trying to like get some sleep, relieve your pain, something in between there, be a little more creative, etc., cure some depression or anxiety, like the stomach acid sometimes will actually break it down. also in between your stomach and your liver, you have your gallbladder, so that also helps process fats. Not to go too much into depth or anything like that. In order like to, in case anyone's listening that like finds this interesting and wants to figure out why edibles aren't hitting them, stomach acid or gallbladder. Those are your two different things that may slow it down and stop it. Main reason because to get past the stomach acid, most people bind it with a fat because fat will actually get processed through in your gallbladder comparatively. And if you don't have a gallbladder, chances are your body doesn't know what the hell to do with that fat, and
Yeah.
will put it through. Like that's the reason why you mix your weed with butter in order to make brownies,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So or distillate or whatever you make it with. Like
Yeah.
possibilities are endless, man. Like
Yeah, I've heard of these kitchens and some of the shit that they sell, and I'm just like, whoa.
yeah, there's the one down in was it Tempe? I haven't personally been there, but like patients tell me about it all the time.
I had somebody telling me about one. I think it's across from Arizona Mills Mall. I think
Yeah,
it must be
yeah,
on Baseline,
the
I think.
mint, the mint. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, they have like that kitchen and everything else,
Mm-hmm.
like really large. Oh, there's my dog. Sorry, stoner moment. Um, but anyways, basically they have a fucking entire kitchen there, and like you can walk in, fucking order a cake and shit like that, and
Damn.
yeah, all that fun stuff. Dude, I am like so blurry right now. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I
Like,
see you a little blurry. It's not that big of a deal.
yeah, it's all cool. Fucking. But yeah, that's
So do you have like you have somebody specialized at the dispensary who does all that stuff?
yeah, basically, well, not necessarily at the dispensary. Like the mint is actually pretty unique in that fashion. They have that on-site kitchen, but like the way like our dispensary works is basically we have like a couple off-site places that take care of different things, whether it's
Uh
grow in the lab, basically all in one spot. Then there is also a kitchen that is like somewhere else. So
huh. Okay.
they'll do like a like mass logistics, send this here, send this there, and they'll do that. But yeah, they do have a couple people that are like designated to like fulfill orders and everything else, and a couple other people are designated to come up with new things and compliance and all that different stuff. Make sure everything's tested, make sure
Yeah.
everything's tracked from seed to sale. It's it's a lot more than what someone would do at their house and just like
Yeah.
out of the weed dude's house. I got this.
Yeah. Now
Let's
I'm
get it
concerned.
home,
Now I'm
break
concerned
it
about my
down.
friend. I'm like, maybe
Yeah.
I should just go to the mint.
Go to the mint. Hey, dude, well, here's the thing: is like, when actual legalization hits and everything else here in Arizona, you're only going to be able. It's going to be a lot like California, if I'm not mistaken, and Colorado. You're going to have like 100 milligrams.
Yeah.
So if you have, a medical condition, you might as well just get your card because you'll save on taxes because of the
Uh huh.
16 or whatever percent plus sales tax. And as well with that, you have access to like higher milligram edibles
Oh.
because they'll only like give you like 100 milligrams at a time, basically.
I see. I see. Do
Yeah,
they keep track of that though? Because can somebody like go to one dispensary and then go to another and then?
yeah. With like in the medical system specifically, everything's tracked through state.
Oh.
They're still trying to work out the rec stuff right now,
Mm-hmm.
but my assumption is they're probably going to treat it like fucking over the counter fucking pharmaceuticals, like
Okay.
fucking let's just say like Sudafed,
Mm-hmm.
fucking Claritin D, fucking all
I
that
see.
fucking different shit. Where like you swipe your ID and like they'll fucking be tracking it through there.
Oh.
So I'm just assuming with that one, like that's just like total assumption, but like that would be for me like the most logical way.
Yeah.
It's already like tried true fucking like and all that different shit. So, yeah, just working just along that thought. That's how I want to assume it's going to work. But yeah, chances are they are going to track it. So
Okay.
it's just one of those
That makes
they like
sense.
to track everything, especially since there is going to be different sales like with the difference of most of these dispensaries at first are going to be both medical and rec
Yeah.
just because they are able to facilitate immediately. So it's one of those where they will they'll most likely do something like that. So only time will tell when everything comes around because like it's like almost like on a basis. There's always
That it all starts in March, right? Officially.
Yeah, I think technically, like right now, if I'm not mistaken, hold on a second. Let me actually look this up.
Yeah, because I had Prop
I think
207 up. I was
technically
trying to
right
learn about it. But I mean, you know your shit, so you'll know better than me.
yeah, fucking. From what I'm not mistaken, is right now technically it's legal. Let me just fucking exit the screen. Come on, there you go. You're not gonna let me type? Are you even on, bro? Wow, my keyboard's dead. That's fucking nice.
Oh wow.
There we go. Cool. Thank God for USB cables, right? Um, yeah, wireless life. Fucking 7. So like, there's been a lot of back and forth with how when adult use license issued by that's going to be the licensing you're actually referring to
Okay.
for different dispensaries. So that's when the 20 pretty much started. But I think technically right now, let's just say you got pulled over with like under an ounce of weed.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think anything would happen because of it.
I see what you're
Like
saying. Yeah.
technically, yeah. It like on top of that, it's just like one of those like it's one of those like such gray areas right now that like um technically one of the things is that with Prop 207 is if you get caught with like a small amount or you have or like you've gotten like a felony because of it, that technically drops off, which is a great thing. But at the same time, it's just like I've had different friends in the past that have grown that have gotten caught with like, like entire warehouses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like they're good people. Like keep in mind, like I feel that they're good people. I feel they don't
Yeah.
screw anyone over. I don't feel like they do anything like necessarily wrong. They were just growing weed because they like fucking really amazing weed and
Yeah.
they knew how to do it, so they just did. Like, but like with people like that, like they don't get their stuff expunged, which is unfortunate because like
Yeah, that's
at the end
bullshit.
of
I
the
think
day,
they
like
should.
it's like you're taking two different situations and like putting them into this whole thing. I can understand with regulation and everything else, but like when you literally make it illegal, you give no one you give no one the opportunity to do anything else but that. Especially with like the whole scheduling of federal one, no research, no this
Yeah.
that, and everything else. Especially on something that's just a plant that like is pretty much non-toxic. That
Yeah.
worst comes to worst, you're going to pass out, maybe get a little anxious, a little paranoid. But most of the time, most people are okay. Like,
Yeah.
there's very few and far in between cases where people are just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
But
If you compare it to something like alcohol, come on. Alcohol is way worse.
honestly, dude, yeah, dude, like for quite a while, like from when I was like 21. Well, basically when I was like 20, got caught up with some like weed and shit like that. I
Yeah.
do the marijuana diversions program, which, as most people know, in Arizona, like you can't drink or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I stopped drinking, then I tried to start again, and then it's just like I just started getting like so wrecked. I'm like, not good for me. Getting myself in too much trouble.
Yeah.
But then after a while, it's like being in fucking different because like obviously like how we know each other is pretty much from like clubs and partying,
Hmm.
like fucking going to like all the different like Relentless shows and shit like that back in the day. But what's it called with all that, it's just like you're around it, like you just like get eased back into it and shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is, dude. Like I'm just like even though I've been born in Canada, I'm a firm believer in you should have enough freedom to put whatever in your body within reason. Like you shouldn't
Yeah.
be causing yourself harm or anyone else around you.
That's funny you say
But
that. Did you watch that the latest? Or it wasn't the latest Joe Rogan podcast, but
pharmacopoeia,
the one the other day? He had some doctor on that was like pro every drug, heroin, like just legalize it all. Have facilities that make sure you're getting clean shit. And he basically had that mentality where he was like, "It's your body, put whatever you want in, as long as you're not, fucking causing chaos."
yeah, basically, like as long as like so, um, it's just one of those. There's like just the fact of the matter is like everything on the street stepped on. Like it's going to happen. Like especially with like harder drugs. Like and even we've seen it in different cannabis, different stuff. Like whether it's like cut cartridges or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, like, you know, different things where people were getting sick from like vitamin E acetate and stuff like that. Where there's like, you know, obviously like millions of people within this country that are definitely smoking weed right now. Like, let's not kid ourselves. A
Yeah.
lot of the population smokes weed.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's it's just one of those like at the end of the day you can't stop anyone from doing stuff. Like that's the thing that like, you know, that is definitely apparent. Like
Yeah.
you can either just give people better resources to get over their shit, you know, the good
Yep.
old Rick and Morty, like get your shit together, get in the box, everything else, just get it sorted, put it somewhere, whatever.
Yeah.
But just don't leave it lying around. Um, but it's you're going to be no matter what, it's like you're either going to have someone's hardship or you're going to have their death. It's like you just have to be able to help people divert that death and be able to like, you know, work towards something more positive because like, you know, it's like comes back to mental illness, all this different stuff like that also plays into this. It's like where people think it's like one thing when it's really another, and then they start,
Uh-huh.
you know, self-medicating. Like it's unfortunate, and it's like one of those like that's also another thing that we try to also help with at the dispensary
Hmm.
is there are different people that are trying to like, you know, get relief for depression and certain types of
Yeah, I
medication
wanted to
that
ask you
use.
about that. That's
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, I guess maybe because I'm a noob, but I think this is the first time I've ever heard of you reference it, you know, in regards to helping somebody with depression. I've heard like things like anxiety, back pain, stuff like that. I've never heard depression though. That's an
Think of it this way, dude. And like you like certain cannabinoid and terpene combinations can give you a very uplifted euphoric effect.
uh-huh.
Like what's that the opposite of? Like let's think of it this way. Where it's basically just lightens your mood, you know?
Mhm.
Like and even then like there's there's many people out there that do suffer from depression just because of pain itself, dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those like I have a sister like she fucking like has like a lot of nerve problems and shit like that,
Mhm.
and like she suffers from depression because of, you know, this. Like I hope she doesn't mind I'm putting her on blast, and I hope she doesn't see this because she'd probably be mad at me. But you know, it is what it is. We all have our problems,
Yeah.
like, but
Well, I
either
mean, I'll
way,
put myself on blast. I mean, I recently got diagnosed with depression officially, so that's why that stood out to me. So, might have
oh
to
yeah,
link with you on the sidelines about that and see what I can
yeah,
do.
yeah. It's just one of those trying to find different sativas is would probably be my thing to try to start with, or different hybrids that do have like that more euphoric, relaxing edge to
Yeah.
it and everything else. And like, you know, it's like the thing I do mention with that as well is it's not like a fucking instant going to help you.
Yeah.
It's like going to a psychologist. Like
Mhm.
it's a tool you can use to better yourself.
Exactly.
Like,
Okay.
but it's all about how you use it, you know? Like, one of my buddies, shout out to Andy Q over in fucking Michigan right now. Sorry, he fucking just works over there. You'll probably hopefully see this when I share it later. But he he would suffer from fucking massive depression as well, and like he wouldn't necessarily smoke indicas because it made him feel apathetic. So he's a very complex person and everything else, and like it's really interesting how he would use cannabis and everything else to like, you know, help himself. So
Yeah,
but you know it's
that's interesting as fuck. Now,
that's a beagle right there, and she is a female dog, and she lives up to that. Ellie, come here. We're going on camera. So what was your next question? Sorry, before I cut you off.
oh no, no big deal. Everybody loves dogs. This is the star of the show right here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What were you, or were you a fan of Prop 207?
Um,
I kept seeing all my friends who who smoke there. I saw very mixed reviews on it.
it's it's back and forth for me. So, um, it's one of those like I had mentioned before. One of my there's like basically like three things. One is taxation.
Yeah.
So where the taxes went to, I don't mind that it's taxed. Like it is what it is. It's going to be the same as everywhere else in the world. It's like technically everything's taxed. Like
Yeah.
even when you go to the fucking dude on the fucking street corner who has a couple nickelbacks for you, he's making money off of it. It's just one of those. It's just only fair, like everything else that we do in life, that like it goes to our governments. But personally, it's more of a personal thing. Just like some people don't like getting licked by their dogs. Um, that it should have gone to instead of like some of the colleges, should have gone to it should have gone to fucking like K through 12 comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
Personal opinion. Also, like I don't think that necessarily money should have gone to police. It should have gone to firefighters and medics and EMTs to be able to like put more different things into like their things. I understand like the whole EMT ambulance thing
Yeah.
is like all privatized and everything else, but it's still like there's still the fact of the matter that there is different things that could come positive of being able to like create better infrastructures for this thing, i.e. hospitals, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. Whether if they're state owned or not, which Arizona doesn't have the best record with those, but that's aside the point. The other thing is just I don't know, dude. Every kid might. Well, I'm not even a kid anymore. I'm almost fucking 30. But everyone that's like from the age of like 16 to like 28, like smokes weed is like, man, it'd be cool to own a dispensary. It'd be cool to do this and that. But
Yeah.
it's one of those. There's not necessarily. It didn't necessarily make there an easy way for this, and like honestly, 6 plants isn't that much to grow. Like, it'd be nice to have 24 or 12.
Oh shit.
But like, that's just me just like crank it up to 11 real quick.
Yeah.
And fucking yeah. But it's like it's good that it's here. Okay, it's change. It's good. It's like progression. But me being like I want it perfect off the bat. It could have gone different. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
see what
that's
you're
just
saying.
like where a lot of us come from,
Mm-hmm.
is that it's not exactly the program we want,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the program we got. So like,
Got your foot in the door. I mean, we can always change things.
yeah, it's the same thing as me when I started working at either a hospital or the dispensary. Dude, you got my foot in the door. You fucking you work at it, you work at it, you work at it, you get better at it, and then fucking you make some change happen. Whether it's for the better or not, you see for the future. So.
Is there any other state you feel is doing it, properly? Colorado, maybe.
Um.
Oregon fucking went
Yeah.
crazy, right? They
Yeah.
they legalized everything or decriminalized it.
Yeah, dude. They're. We'll see with that one. Let's see what.
That's
it
a
does,
nice little experiment.
Yeah, like what is it? Panama, I think, did that like back in 2000 something.
Yeah, something like that. And
So like, yeah, we'll see how it goes in like the northern hemisphere, because culture does definitely influence a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Like that's how you get different music. That's how you get fucking different food. Like
yeah.
yeah.
Now, since you're in a dispensary, do you have like a goal? Like, are you just gonna keep moving up the chain? You want your own dispensary?
Yeah, like, well, it's one of those, like, it would be nice to, but I don't have $1 million.
Oh yeah, you need some money.
Unfortunately, I don't have a winning lottery ticket either. It would
We'll
be
work
nice
on that.
to, find the leprechaun at the end of the rainbow. I work with a guy. He's very short and Irish, and he has a little beard and dreads. So, like, I've been following him a lot, trying
Yeah.
to figure out where, like, on that day where it's barely raining and sun's shining through, and
Maybe you can secure some investors or something. I don't know.
yeah, something. Yeah, that's seems like a lot of work, but it's also what they were doing was like a lottery system for basically licensing.
Yeah.
For that. Because like end of the day, dude, like there are a lot of millionaires in Arizona. Like we have a sorry, I'm not sure if you can hear the.
No, I can't hear shit.
Yeah, the girlfriend's in the room.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Either way, so sorry, it was the lottery is basically how they would give out the different licensing. I know in the beginning it was originally for how many pharmacies and stuff like that. I think recently last year they changed because of how many more licenses came up.
Yeah.
So with that, what a lot of people do is they'll try. Dispensary owners is they'll try to take another dispensary and use their license and
I see.
build the brand out of there, or that way so they have multiple locations, just like Pizza Hut would. So you're getting the same thing all the way across the board. Some places will actually take their buy a place, take their license, and then move it to a different place so they can have like a larger area, larger lobby, more parking.
Mm-hmm.
This and that. I've been seeing that like a little bit here and there with certain places, but it's it really depends on their different things. But that's also another problem with being able to actually do it. But it's for now, it's just climbing up, honing skills, move from place to place. Recently I actually had a buddy that and he worked for Nature's
Uh-huh.
for a while. Like when I first started there, he ended up moving to a different company and everything else. And recently, he just got, what is it? He's basically the master of cultivation over at Cookies over in Humboldt County, and he's
Oh,
just
okay, I've heard of them.
going
Yeah.
up there, here and there in a few. So not sure if you know Phil at all, but because
No.
he's around like similar groups of
Uh
friends and
huh.
stuff like that. But yeah, shout out to Phil. More shout outs, more stuff to come. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a buddy. He actually works at one of the farms out in Colorado. He's always posting these crazy ass pictures of these little buds all crystallized, and I'm like, damn, I wish I knew how important that is, because he's like just hyping it up, like how beautiful this thing is, and I'm like, shit. He just,
Yeah.
it's like a warehouse, just rows of weed, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, fucking one of my buddies, fucking, he always sends me these photos. Well, he lives out here,
Mhm.
but does like different Instagram work for over in, I think, Oregon,
Mhm.
Portland or something like that. But like every once in a while, his like he'll get pictures sent to him of like the outdoor grow they have up there,
Yeah.
and it's like it's just fucking it's like literally a fucking majestic thing of weed. It's like they have like all these wooden planks in between where they can walk on so they're not disturbing the soil.
Yeah.
Like everything's all rigged up, all the plants are just lush, dark and green, and like it's like he takes a video and it's like pan, and all you can see is just fucking weed plants like all the way around. And like they're all healthy, they're all doing well, so like, much props. But yeah, dude, that's always interesting. But if you want to learn more, basically what you're talking about with like the photos, basically I assume your buddy's taking like macro photos. What I mean is like really close up,
Yeah. Yeah.
highly detailed.
Yeah. He'll have like a
Uh,
bud sitting there, zoomed in all the way,
yeah, fucking really expensive lenses. I have a fucking old one actually right here with a fucking
and I'm just
flare.
like, man, I wish I could appreciate this as much as him.
So like it's just like what there is to appreciate with that is like, the fact of the matter is someone's able to tailor make an experience for this plant. Like think of it that
Uh
way,
huh.
because the more effort you do put in anything, like anything else in life, the more you're going to get out of it. So by that, like it's just like a problem. Like what he's trying to express is it's a very healthy plant. All the trichomes and everything else, which are basically those little, like when they're zoomed in, they look like little like mushroom, like
Yeah.
crystal clear glands. Basically, that's where all of the cannabinoids are and where they actually are produced and everything else. So with that, like giant heavy trichomes and everything else that are
Hmm.
just like overly swollen that you can see with the bare naked eye, are just like it's just a thing just that gets you because you know that has the content in there. It has
Yeah.
the either the THC content or it has like a wide variety of different cannabinoids. So yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
so it's one of those. That's pretty much it. And then it's always fun to look at the hairs.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with being high. The fucking different colors and hues that like this like one species of plant that's able to come up with, because you have purples, oranges, reds. There's even pinks, purples, like probably
I'd
some
like to look at that
oranges.
shit while I'm tripping balls or something.
Yeah, fucking over fucking saturation on colors like my camera right now, because I
Yeah.
turn that shit up and all I see is my ears red as all hell.
All right. So what's the deal with wax? That's one thing I don't understand. Where is wax coming from? How are they making that? What is?
Okay, so think of it this way. You're so most of the time there's wax is like a broad spectrum of a bunch of different processes you can do, but basically what you're talking about is like extracts.
Okay.
So think of like vanilla extract, like
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily like the actual vanilla bean itself. It's something where they've actually either mechanically or chemically stripped away the oils that do make it flavorful, etc., etc. The idea with cannabis is you're stripping away all the oils and everything else, i.e., well, basically, you're taking away all the hydrocarbons, if you will, and all the different cannabinoids that are soluble to the solvents.
Uh huh.
So, sorry, I'm getting technical with that shit. Let me just layman's terms it really quick. Basically, you're washing everything that's off the weed, and
Okay.
you're collecting that, and then you're removing whatever solvent you're using
Uh
in
huh.
that case, or there's always rosin. I'll get to that in a second. Uh, you're removing any of the solvent that's there. So basically, the idea is you're taking away all the plant matter. You're leaving whatever's left in there, like in that solution as
Okay.
As something that you're going to, obviously take out and collect and use. Basically, there's like butane hash oil. You can use pretty much any type of hard hydrocarbon solvent. Certain ones work better than others. And along with that, just as a piece to remember, is different solvents tend to extract different ratios of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Because at the end of the day, you're never going to have a perfect, 100% yield of whatever's there.
Yeah. Okay.
You're going to always have some sort of loss.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just the way the universe works.
Yeah.
Like something's going to go here, something's going to go there, something's going to stay like deep in this nook and cranny. But with that, basically solvents and everything else are usually extracted with underneath vacuum and heat, so they end up evaporating. Because think of it this way: you've probably seen videos online on YouTube,
Yep.
where you put something underneath water underneath negative 28 psi, and it boils at a lot lower of a temp. Same idea with butane or anything else that you're using. Butane's just the most common because it's hella cheap. You can find it fairly easily, etc., etc. But with that, there's multiple different ways of doing it. There's different things you can do at home. Wouldn't necessarily suggest it. You can blow up your house, unless you're into that kind of thing. Unless you're trying to somehow risk insurance fraud. But obviously wouldn't suggest that either.
Never.
Nah. But oh, I can see you got the Circle K beater right there.
Yep. Oh yeah. They're actually pretty good. Have you had one?
I haven't had one in a hot minute.
It just tastes like fucking tea. I don't taste any alcohol or anything in it. It's fucking good.
Yeah, this shit here, I'm not sure if it'll focus.
Oh, Angry Orchard. That's my shit, bro.
Yeah, this shit tastes like fucking apple juice, dude.
Yeah, I'm heavy into the ciders. I actually started with the Ace pineapple and pear. And then, that got me into ciders. Everyone always makes fun of me for drinking ciders, but those shits have fucking more alcohol than the bullshit Bud Light that they're drinking.
Hell yeah, and they taste better too.
And they taste good. What the fuck? I'm here for some flavor. Shit.
Enjoy your shit. I don't know, dude. It's the same. I guess it's the same argument where people are where I go for the more expensive stuff in the dispensary, and some people go for the cheapest. And
yeah.
The way I look at it is you can sometimes get some good stuff there and everything else, but isn't life to enjoy it?
Yeah.
Aren't we here to bask in the glory? The
treat yourself.
That we live and the so the oats that we sow and shit like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw that fucking Office reference because I don't think I've ever heard that actually said anywhere else. Sown oats.
This might be the first documented.
Second. Gotta remember fucking The Office. Apparently in fucking the the Schrute household, when you lay a woman, your parents are supposed to leave you a bag of oats, and you can do whatever you want with oats. You can feed them to a horse, you can make bread, you can make oatmeal, but that is the butt of the joke. So, yeah, hopefully there's no more Office references. They're kind of dated by this point in time.
So since we're on extracts, CBD, would that be just another considered, that's an extract, right?
Well, yes. So, CBD itself is a different cannabinoid. So it does have different properties. So just like THC, you have CBD. So there's also a wide variety of different cannabinoids. Just to go over a few, just starting with different ones, I'm going to probably be referencing here soon, just to break.
Okay.
There's CBG, CBD, CBDA, THC, THCV. Technically, THC can be broken down into Delta 8, Delta 9. There's a few others, like I mentioned, 11-hydroxy. And with that, CBD is a very interesting cannabinoid itself, just because it's quote-unquote non-psychoactive.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, it's calming and it is mood altering. So it's one of those, it doesn't ruin any sort of cognition or anything like that, but it's able to keep you straight.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
So, so basically with that, usually how they end up making it is, also with extracts, there's also isolates, which is basically a different process of being able to isolate specific molecules, in this case cannabinoids, be able to extract them and either recrystallize them or have them as powder to be able to just have that molecule for, whatever consumption you're trying to do.
Yeah.
The basically with CBD and THC, it's give or take the same. But what you're starting with most of the time with CBD stuff is going to be a hemp. Reason why
That's
is
what I have here. I don't know if you can see it.
okay. I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Fucking. Hemp it it can produce slight amounts of THC. It really depends on the. There's been different research. This article, this little bit I'm pulling from, I think, Cannabis Pharmacy,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken, where in it, like halfway through the book, they reference indica sativa and also CBD strains and what causes them to have different things. There's been different experimentation that has been like referenced in that book, where different temperatures, pressures, and relative humidity can change the outcome of what your plant's actually going to produce, because obviously you're giving it different conditions to do different things. It's going to grow certain things in certain conditions. It's just
Yeah.
like, you have like you grow oranges in, let's just say Oregon versus Florida.
Uh
You're
huh.
going to have vastly different yields and everything else. Also, they're going to taste different, especially because of whatever they're pulling from the ground, etc., etc.
Right.
Um, but with CBD, they end up pulling that. You end up pulling that mainly from there. They'll usually isolate it down, unless they're doing something that's called a full spectrum. So with CBD, usually it's kind of grouped into two different areas,
Mm-hmm.
where there's CBD isolates, which are usually CBD that's just isolated down to just the actual just CBD, and there's also full spectrum CBD, which is more like a full plant extract. So let's just with full plant extracts, like keep in mind there's going to be more than just CBD in there.
Okay.
What people are having problems with, especially like people in the military and everything else, when they were taking CBD to relieve their knee pain from wearing like their fatigues and like 50
Yeah.
pounds on their back, etc., etc. They would end up popping positive for THC.
Ah.
Reason why is because THC takes a long time to break down. Most people know that, for most substances, you can piss a drug test, like do a piss test, and like be completely fine of most substances in under 3 days.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, THC stays in your system, depending on how much you smoke it, 2 weeks to 2 months.
Damn.
Longer. Yeah. So it's it's a little bit of a thing. So the way it works is, even though most of these full spectrum ones, they'll have like a slight amount, like under like 0.3% THC. You're taking that every day. You're putting more and more in your body. It doesn't come out right away, and you end up like with this like solid abundance, and it pops the threshold of what the actual test is looking for. So with that, it's just like one of those. Sometimes it's easier to have like a isolated one, and that way you also know that there is less actual THC in it. One of the places I like to go for isolate that I've had, they usually send me like test results and everything else with the things, and I'll actually get it mailed from Colorado. Is Industrial Hemp Farms.
Yeah.
They like sell everything from like isolate to like CBD flower, and like all sorts of gummies, tinctures, etc., and they'll like break it down. It's like this one's isolate, this one's full spectrum. So at least you know what you're getting from, and like they are one of the largest like hemp suppliers within the U.S. So it is nice to be able to look at that in case anyone is wondering where they can get their own CBD or make their own tinctures or anything else like that, because it's a fairly simple process for that, which you can save a lot of money for someone who is on something like fucking like welfare, or like they don't have a job currently and they're just trying to get
Yeah.
their pain, or they're like in between something or waiting for their disability to kick in shit. Like
Yeah.
I've seen it all. Talked to all sorts of type of people that are going through whoever knows what with their their pain, their
Yeah.
other symptoms, or whatever. So, but yeah. I can tell you kind of have another question lined up, because I could babble for minutes on CBD.
Oh no! I was letting. I mean, everything you're telling me is like fucking interesting as fuck. It's like you're fucking knowledgeable about all your shit. But with hemp, because you keep bringing up hemp, I keep now. I've always heard like other hemp products, like clothes. Like I hear it's like a real durable material. Do you know about that kind of shit?
Yeah, yeah, it's hella fibrous. Like if you ever have someone that you like meet in the upcoming months that's like ever trimming shit down,
Uh,
ask to just come by their house as they're doing it. Like, because obviously there's like as long as they're under six plants, they have nothing to worry about, etc.,
yeah.
etc. I need to stop saying that. I blame this fucking Angry Orchard. There's probably like too many ECTs in
Nah,
these
you're
fucking
all
things.
good.
No, there's not even E. Fuck, I'm lying. Anyways, so the uh, so hemp, like even if like weed and stuff like that, it has like these like incredibly strong fibers. Like if you have thick ass stalks on a plant, like let's say
Yeah.
you're growing it outdoor and it's like getting the right, micro and macronutrients to be able to like have like a healthy cellular wall and everything else, that shit's fucking hella hard to cut through. I'll tell you that just from experience,
Yeah.
like from helping a couple friends trim shit down. And even then, like all the fibers are like really long and they literally run from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So it's if you ever have the chance to just fuck around with like a stem that's like
Uh
still
huh.
fresh, like literally cut down fresh, you'll notice the difference between that and when it's dry. But even then, like it's hella durable material. I remember I think I was in like fucking seventh or eighth grade. I had a fucking pair of hemp shoes and like beat the living fuck out of those things, man. I passed. They even had like a little fucking like pocket where you could stick your weed in and try to
Yeah.
hide it from your parents, but they already knew it was there because like one day your fucking shoes smelled and they fucking tried to fucking spray it out and they realized that. Why do your fucking feet smell like a skunk? Yeah, y'all been there
hemp
before.
hemp products like that were never illegal, right? Like was that ever?
Um, I think there was a so yes, there was a time where
Because I've heard of the conspiracy with like William Hearst, that played like a part in him like getting weed illegal because I think he owned
uh
like some printing company or some bullshit.
yes,
And
yes, there was
I don't
that.
know if it's conspiracy or what. That's just what I've heard.
Yeah, no, no, that's absolutely 100% true. Like
Yeah.
there, so hemp has so you can grow hemp like many a times a year in an indoor like facility and everything else, where you're like literally just like pumping stuff out. And as we know, like it's very easy to grow fucking weed, and they're literally related. Like
Yeah.
you can grow weed inside, you can grow CBD inside. Even then, it doesn't take up like that much space to do. So in reality, it could have had the it could have had the it could have been so how do I put this? The supply chain for itself could have been so small that where you're not like cutting down trees that take
Yeah.
years to grow, you're cutting down something that takes like a few months to grow.
Yeah.
So you're constantly having more of a supply. It's not as detrimental to the environment, and you can literally control it a lot easier than a plant, an actual tree that you're using for paper.
Right.
So they saw that. They saw that it could basically. I think it's like there was like a hemp gin or something like that that was created in like
Yeah.
18 or some shit
Yep.
like
I think I
that.
saw it.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and basically that's the reason why they started like making hemp products, and they tried to do the whole marijuana hemp thing, and get it all illegal because it's all
Yeah.
related.
They lobbied this when he
Yeah,
started lobbying against it.
yeah, yeah. It's the same thing that give or take happens to uh, anything that people don't necessarily understand
Right.
or have like a way of respecting.
Right.
There's also like there's obviously like the racist implications like that are fucking just like hilarious nowadays. Like people actually used to think like that, yes, but it's sad.
Right.
But it's it's like there's nothing wrong with jazz. Who doesn't like fucking jazz?
I've never
It's
dabbled
not
with
what I get
jazz.
hyped to in the club. Don't get me
Right.
wrong.
Right.
But like every once in a while, you just gotta spark one up and listen to that good old devil music.
Honestly, with with this plant, it almost seems like it's from another fucking planet, man. It's a fucking super plant.
I knew you were going to get into fucking aliens.
Nah, I don't want to bring up alien shit. I'm just saying it's a super plant. Where the fuck is it from?
Yeah, no, okay, but like mushrooms on the real, like that possibly could be from fucking like somewhere else, just because of the rate that it grows, the rate that it can evolve. Like who didn't say like 10,000 years ago,
A meteor or some
just,
shit.
like, just,
Panspermia.
yeah, something like that I feel is possible. just because there's like just so many different species and like there's just so many different ways they grow.
You know a lot
Um,
about mushrooms and shit too, or?
Not really, but I know enough to hold a conversation for like
Mm.
about an hour or two. But I wouldn't call me an expert on that. Like
Yeah.
I would I wouldn't call me an expert on cannabis either, but I would definitely feel a lot more, you know,
No, you definitely know your shit.
interesting with someone saying that comparatively. But yeah, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, dude, it's just like it's just like the way I look at it is kind of the same way I look at technology with
Hmm.
like both cannabis and everything else. Is it's we're always finding out more about it. We're always changing the way we're doing different things. The same way as cannabis is constantly evolving, like with different people, selective breeding, different people figuring out different methods of growing, um, just different ways of people finding out different ways of consuming, and
Yeah.
just like there's obviously a lot to learn. But obviously, and as well, there's always more that I personally can learn. So anyone on Facebook that's reading, if there's anything I should look into, acetates, don't say that because I'll get into that in a second, because that'll intrigue the living fuck out of you.
Okay.
Because it intrigued the living fuck out of me when I first heard it, and I was like, "What? What do you mean about this? I've never heard of this before." Um, but yeah, there's just always a lot to learn. But the reason why I look at it like that is like there's literally all these. Sorry, beagles whining
I
for
can't
whatever
hear
reason. No, it's all cool. It's one of those I can hear her. It's probably because she hasn't ate dinner yet. It's sad,
him.
but she can deal. She's a chunk. She has a chunk
Ah.
on top. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like one of the things. It's like it's literally one of the largest, one of the smallest organisms you can literally find on this planet. Like
Yeah.
anywhere in between, like something that spans like almost the size of like most countries in Europe, like obviously down the rainforest of Brazil and wherever, or in those dense jungles, or even then like something that's like literally just a few like cells wide. That's like a multi-celled organism. Like
Yeah.
on top of that, like there's Amethyst muscaria, there's like what is it, lion's mane. There's like all these different things that have all these different properties that are either psychedelic, psychotropic, otherwise better for like health, fucking even down to like there's been cognitive like sorry, loss of words, even to help cognitive ability and stuff like that.
Right.
Where like over microdosing these different alkaloids that uh, these mushrooms are able to pull from their substrate and grow is just amazing.
I'm hella interested in microdosing, but
Yeah,
again, I don't know enough about it to do it.
yeah. So like the way I look at it, I currently do have a friend, remains nameless. Shout out nameless friend. You know
Yeah.
who you are. I know you're gonna watch this too.
Hit me up.
Anyways, hit me. They're going to hit me up either way. I just talked to them while I was on break about this either way. So anyways, basically it's a so in your brain you have this one receptor that is the serotonin. I think it's 2AB receptor, if I'm not mistaken. This is also like something I've recently been looking into,
Hmm.
just because it's like it's basically the main psychedelic affected area.
Uh huh.
So as we know, serotonin receptors usually are like your happy juice in your head.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
a liquid that makes you feel euphoric, etc.,
Hmm.
etc. MDMA, like LSD, psilocybin,
Yeah.
all these different things, or psilocin, whichever way you look at the process, all affect um, all affect this one receptor. And it's just really interesting that like uh, there is all these natural things that do tend to attack that, and the antagonistic receptor in your brain to give you like all these different results. And it's like, why is it there, and why does it give us this different all these different experiences all at once, if you would, depending on where this carbon is,
Right.
where this hydrogen and oxygen is. So it's just yeah, it's interesting to look at that shit, let's put it that way, because um this is me just being a little stoned and everything else and rambling again. But the like it's just like you throw a couple different things around on a chain of like
Yeah.
atoms, and you
Hmm.
get an entirely different result. And there's
Yeah.
also the mind and the mind and the brain. Just keep those two things separate.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
the mind is, your experience, what you're feeling, and everything else, and there's the brain, which is what's happening. So, obviously, you affect the brain, you affect the mind. You can affect the mind without even affecting the brain just by having stimulus there and everything else, which in turn does affect the mind. But we're not going to go. It does affect the brain, but all in perspective of which way you look at it. But yeah, dude, it's just really interesting to see how this happy-go-lucky thing that's built into our brain gets affected by all these different random molecules and everything else.
It's by design, man. Intelligent design.
You're apparently like it's just like why did we evolve that way, dude? Like why? And why of all things does this fucking like fungus give us these results? And
Have you heard of the stoned ape theory?
yeah, the Stone Age theory, basically where fucking like humans were old caveman or whatever wasn't
Yeah.
intelligent until we ate much like some
Yeah.
sort of either amnesia, psilocybin,
Yeah.
one of them, and just we gained.
That shit makes sense to me.
It does, but it's like one of those. Back to what I was saying before with the brain is you would have to have a receptor there in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're having a receptor there, you can have that receptor switched on and off on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, just to like summarize it, like, if it was there in the first place, is it really something that unlocked everything? Okay, so keep in mind also I've had experiences with psychedelics where like
Yeah.
I've obviously had way eye-opening experiences
Same.
from like minuscule things like figuring out that like the universe is what I paint it. Fucking you put whatever overlay on whatever you want to,
Yeah,
like within
yeah.
your own universe, to fucking just understanding like myself more. Like
Yeah. I've been there as well. Yep.
but it's just really weird that the like that receptor in itself has that common experience linked to it at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
which is also where the theory comes from. Like, I can't like necessarily say it's like, yeah, I don't believe in it, but at the same time I do, but at the
Yeah.
same time I don't. But it's just like, why is that there in the first place, and why does like
Yeah.
why are we able to have this thing that's like out there have this experience? Like, is it just like this haywire receptor that we like no longer use or something like that was there previously? Like, I don't know. It's a very odd thing. And also like, I don't know, seeing different people's reactions to different substances of like what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G act all the same, but then F. What the F happened to you?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's life is a wild thing, and our biology is all different, and the way we react to different things is definitely different. Especially with cannabis. Not to loop it around, but like certain people like they have like anxiety and like extreme paranoia when they fucking smoke weed. Some
Yeah.
people love that. Some people love. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Joey Diaz skit
Uh-huh.
or Tom Segura. Well, Tom Segura retells it, but basically, I like going smoking crack in my apartment, and then what I do is I go to my door and I peep out the hole and just wait there to see if anyone's coming, if there's any cops there, anything's happened. I'm like, oh shit, they're coming for me, and I go back, they're gone. Let's give myself a mini heart attack 30 times in an hour. Because he obviously lives in fucking New York, so it's like people are up, down, up, left, right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, like I said, some people enjoy it. Some people enjoy being able to have. I know also listening to recent Joe Rogan shit. He's one of those people, he likes to fucking get so fucking paranoidly high that
Yeah, I was gonna say that he just talked about that today when I was listening to him, that he likes getting freaked out, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Hey, dude, some people are into that. Fucking whatever floats rocks or sinks your boat. Some
Yeah, I
people are into
guess.
PCC, some people are into crack, dude. Like,
Yeah, whatever
as long as you
float.
got your shit together. I'm
Yeah.
not one to judge, man. Like,
Yeah, me neither, man. Me neither.
yeah.
Just don't fuck up and kill somebody or something like that.
Don't
Hey,
kill someone, kill yourself, or fucking like
yeah.
burn a company to the ground. Shit, like as long as it doesn't affect anyone else, like
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. I can get behind that 100%.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, but even with like cannabis, like I'm not sure if it's like terpenes or a fucking what's it called entourage effect between like the cannabinoids and the terpenes, but like something gives people like literal shakes just from smelling like certain weeds.
Oh
Like
wow.
I've seen it before. Either that or the dude I was talking to was coming down off of meth. Who's the judge?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember I was talking to this dude. He was like completely straight. I hand him a fucking half ounce of weed to smell, and like he pops the top for him, and like his hands straight, and he like smells it, and all of a sudden his hand just starts like shaking, like he's fucking like withdrawing off of fucking not having caffeine for a week or
Yeah.
something like that. And he has a cup of Joe in his hand. Um, but yeah, dude, like it's really interesting to see different people's experiences. Um, with that shit and see how they're
Yeah.
how they react, if you would, or
Uh-huh.
just see like the long list of what could possibly happen. Okay, so here now it's story time.
Okay.
Okay, so I know you know certain people, but just for like that are involved in this, I'll tell you later who was like over at my house when this happened, but I'm not going to mention any names on this
Okay.
one.
Sure.
Okay, this is about the time I thought I killed someone with weed.
Oh shit.
Okay, this is absolutely true story. You'll be able to back this up with the certain people. So, anyways, homeboy, we're gonna call him Joe.
Okay.
Joe Schmo. So Joe lives down the street from me. One of my good friends. I was like, hey, bro, what you doing? He's like, hey, I'm just hanging out, drinking at my house. So I can have a couple friends over. You want to come by? I'm like, yeah, fucking sure, dude. I ain't doing shit, and you live only 2 miles away. So go down to his house. We fucking chill around. He's sitting there with his girlfriend, and also there's two other chicks over there. So I'm like, okay, they're just hanging out, blah blah blah. They've been drinking and everything else, and basically after a while, Joe said, "Hey, Mike, I want to smoke some weed. We don't have any, but I know you do. So can we go back to your house and we'll smoke over there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do you one better. Go smoke weed. We'll do some dabs." So when we got to my house, one of the chicks that was there, I'm not sure if it was the liquid courage or whatever,
Yeah.
or if it was just her personality, but she started like, basically not necessarily talking shit, but like boasting herself.
Uh
And honestly, around my house, I'm the only one allowed to do that. Like,
huh.
just like, I am an asshole. I will tell people that straight up. Like, I'm sorry, fuck everyone else's feelings, including my own, because like they're kind of useless. But, um, basically, she said, "Oh, I fucking never get high off dabs. I do fucking big dabs, this and that, and everything else," and just boasting herself. I'm like, no, I just picked up like 7 grams, fucking shatter over here a couple days ago, and I still have like 5 left. I'm willing to bet like 30, $35 that this chick can't handle her shit. So, being the asshole I am, I give her like fucking like, like half to 3/4 gram dab. So if anyone knows, that's like just stupidly ridiculous. I also have email setups, have for a while, built them myself for a while. So it's really easy to be able to like, take all of that, give or take.
Uh huh.
As long as you have the lung capacity and you don't die from coughing. So anyways, I give her the dab. She immediately loses her shit. She starts coughing and everything else, gets red in the face, and I like, okay, this is where asshole turns into douchebag. Okay, so so she's like coughing her lung out. She's like, I feel the fucking thing of satisfaction of it's like, yeah, I should shut her up. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't come to my house, start stomping around my turf and fucking start fucking doing this. I'll set you in your place. So anyway, she goes out to her she's like, I have to lay down for a second, take a breather. Like, okay, she just took a big dab. She's dying. It's fine. Give her a bottle of water. Let her fucking chill there on the couch for a minute, outside around the room. So girlfriend, like after a few minutes, my girlfriend walks out, like to go get her drink and shit like that. And fucking all of a sudden she sees her on the fucking couch, fucking seizing and rolling over and falling on the floor.
Oh,
Immediately seizing. Yes. So immediately I'm like, actual fuck. And like here, I'm thinking I fucking killed someone with a fucking dab, like dead ass, and fucking like basically like I someone notices that she had like a fucking it looked like a Livestrong bracelet almost,
Yeah.
but it had like a metal bit on it, and that was one of her medical things. Like
Oh.
she had like an adrenal condition. She
Oh
was over
shit.
at homeboy's house fucking drinking all day, and she came over here, took a dab way too big, and just fucking rocked her shit to the point of her like like having that shit. Anyways, they fucking she ended up like letting us know, hey, I have some medication in my thing, like while she was seizing, like she was coherent enough to be able to
Yeah, yeah, to tell you.
yeah, tell me. And she took her shit, calmed down, everything else. After that, she was fine. So like after that, I let them spend the night at my place. Pretty much drove everyone home in the morning before I went to work and shit like that. Wrecked me for a few days, just thinking it's like, man, dude, I literally almost fucking killed someone with weed. Like, A, how did this happen? B, why did this happen? And C, maybe I should even slow my roll and not be such a dick to other people.
Hey man, she asked for it. Sounds like.
Well, some people just never say no to free drugs. Like, let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
Like,
true, true,
yeah,
true.
yeah. That's what my buddy Jake used to say. Shout out to Jake Hansen. You know who you are. In the land of the Mormons right now. He moved out to fucking Utah a few years ago. So, but yeah, land of the Mormons.
No, I definitely know my limits. That shit would never happen to me. You won't catch me dabbing. Edible, that's it. A baby edible.
A baby edible. A little foot of the gummy bear.
Yeah, no, I ain't stupid.
So, any more questions? If
Um,
not, I can tell another story.
I mean, if you want to shoot another story, I'm all for it.
Okay, quick. This is like last weekend story.
Okay. Oh, last week. This is fresh. Okay.
Fresh. So fresh, I almost still feel it, man. So yeah, fucking. So I got a buddy. He basically does whatever he does, and he goes different places and picks up stuff and brings it back. One of these things is like he goes to different legal states and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up giving me like this edible, and on the box it says 200 milligrams. So me being the asshole I am, I'm like 200 milligrams ain't shit. I then put two and two together. Previously, I'd stated where we have like the 100 milligram for edible rules.
Yeah, right.
For recreational. Basically, in other states they have that same thing. So chances are, if you're getting an edible from a different state that says something more than that, it's most likely made on the street, made by someone else. I'm not saying it's not good.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're a lot more potent than they say they are. So I ate like 3/4 of this and basically fucking passed the fuck out, slept for like 12 hours, woke up still high. Like it was high for like another 6 hours in the morning, and then fucking had like this splitting headache from being so damn dehydrated the rest of the day. But yeah, fucking keyword street edibles sometimes feel a lot harder than that in the fucking thing. So that's also just like a warning for anyone that is like not necessarily going through the most legitimate source for different stuff.
Yeah, me with my friend at work.
You sometimes get a little more bang for your buck than you intended.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's all good.
yeah. But what was your next question? Go and shoot.
I want to so working at a dispensary, how do you guys pick your supplier? You guys is there like farm their own thing, their own operation as well, or is that a whole separate?
Yeah, so like out here, I'm not sure how other states do it. So out here in Arizona is what we end up doing is basically every dispensary has its own license, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
With that, they can employ other people to work underneath that license. So every dispensary, give or take, will have a bunch of different brands underneath it, whether it's like cartridges, edibles, flour. Most dispensaries will have their own grow, where they're trying to pump out as much flour as possible to be able to supply their own shelves and other ones.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's a complete supply and demand, and it's like Walmart. Let's put it this way: the more shit you have on the shelf, the more shit you're going to sell.
Right.
Everyone has a different thing that they're going to actually end up needing. So, so with that, a lot of it's like basically the dispensaries, give or take, own the grow. and then from there they're managed by someone that'll actually run the entire thing, and then they'll pretty much sell, give or take, sell the weed to the dispensary, and then from there they'll distribute it out accordingly. So along with that, like I said, there is like a wholesale type deal. Like there's different brands like Eras, Grow Science, Potent Planet, Alien Labs.
Alien Labs. There we go. That's the one.
That's the one. Hey, dude, like those are pretty much the only like give or take things that like I would personally go to like a dispensary to buy.
Yeah.
But like I'm also like picky, and also I'm paying like fucking $55 fucking aid for that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's money well spent.
Yep.
Like you're spending it on yourself. It's just like anything else. Fancy mustache wax. Nice pair of glasses, nice fancy hat, nice headphones. You know,
Yeah.
giant fucking streaming computer that you never fucking stream with. All that good shit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. But anyways, yeah, with all that different stuff, fuck. Forgot where I was going with this. Started fucking tangenting, then lost it. What was the question again?
The whole grow up picking your
Grow up
supplier.
So all the different suppliers and everything else. Basically, it's whoever they want to bring in, like give or take. As long as you have the appropriate licensing, like to be able to track that thing from that product from seed to sale, and have all those different processes in line to grab it. It's pretty much fair game as long as they're within the network, within the actual legal dispensary stamps, like good to go.
Okay.
But also along with that, there is now testing that has to happen. So currently, like I work in inventory, so this is also one of the things that we have to, give or take deal with like surprise state audits and stuff like that, where there's like pop in or like show us your shit. I'm like, fuck. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Let's take time out of my day to make sure what I'm doing is right.
Yeah.
For you, I understand it's there for a reason, but like one of the things I go through is testing and everything else, where every batch has to have a corresponding test score to it. So like every cartridge, every edible, like pretty much every flavor of edible, because if you have like different batches associated with that, they have to have like that test associated with it. Also, like there's different things like contaminant potency, even down to different terpene, different things. In Arizona, we're supposed to have like full test scores and everything else. So that's also one thing that sometimes does hinder the actual supply chain of people getting stuff in and out, because there's only a finite amount of labs that can actually process this stuff to be able to get you the paperwork you need that are actually state approved. And with that, like pretty much every single, like I said, every single batch, every single product has to have it. So like, you got the same different brand, like all the brands have to have that all together. So that's also another thing is that could deny people from having different stuff like at a dispensary, is just not being able to have a product that's up to par, or even then labeled appropriately for like what the milligram is. Because I know like certain times like test scores just go like really weird, like like I don't know whether it's like just like the guy that's running the machine's just not calibrated or whatever, something else. But like you'll see like different spikes in different spots where they're not supposed to be, like a different cannabinoids. But yeah, but with all that different stuff, basically it's fair game as long as you have paperwork, test scores, and backing.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
The real difficult part is to be able to to get your foot in the door for straight up producing and manufacturing.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of difficult to prove yourself that you can make these products, other than just just really quickly throwing them together and then putting them out there and trying to get a job from that. Because there's occasionally different people that are trying to bring in different cooks and chefs and everything else to be able to make different products. But yeah, for the most part, like different flowers, most places have their own place. The place that does produce their own products, and then from there they'll just sell back and forth.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. I think one of my last questions is, where's this all going? Is there some new cutting edge technology or something coming out? Anything you see on the horizon?
So, this is this is where I was going to get to the acetates.
Okay.
So I was waiting for this question. I knew it was coming sooner or later. So what I feel that is going to be able to happen sooner or later is not necessarily. There's obviously always going to be the the natural like THC and everything else,
Yeah.
but with different things over the past few years, I think like 6 or 7 years ago there was this thing. No, it was discovered way before that. It was discovered in the '60s. It's called It's called not vitamin E. It's called THC acetate.
Uh huh.
So THCO acetate. If you're looking up on Google and want to do your own research, because I feel that people should always like hey, fact check me because
Right.
it is what it is, and find out your own information for yourself. But basically, it's a cannabinoid that is give or take. You start with like THC, and through different solvents, temperatures, pressures, etc. It's a pretty in-depth process, but basically it converts the molecular structure to a concentrate that is, I think, like obviously you can find different things all over the internet. For it's like 3, 4, 12 times is like more potent.
Oh
And it's
shit.
also mildly psychedelic apparently.
Oh.
So it's one of those like if like I understand like it really depends on dose. So
Okay.
like, dose is a huge thing. Also, certain people hallucinate off of fucking regular weed, dude. Like
It'd
I
probably
really
be
wish
me.
I could explain that and see like what's going on in those specific people.
Yeah.
But the the thing is like since we're able to do this, what other things do we have with the semi? I would like to say semi-synthetic cannabinoids that can
Hmm.
actually come out of this. So um, it's just one of those that yeah, the future just probably has a bunch of like bright things to show as soon as like shit's decriminalized.
Right.
It's underneath like Schedule One because not sure if you know this, but Schedule One drug basically means no one can actually do like any real research in it in the
Research. Right.
U.S. Obviously we have like different countries that do a bunch of stuff for us, like Israel and
Hmm.
Canada, and different places that are actually like looking into the medicinal benefits of this plant because it is like as I personally can see, it's a viable replacement for a lot of different, not a lot of different things, but it it can be for certain people. So
Yeah.
there's obviously person to person basis. It's the same thing as aspirin helps some people with their
Right.
pain,
Right.
sometimes it doesn't. So, but yeah.
Okay. Well, this was pretty lit. I mean, you know your shit for sure. At least compared to from what I know.
Let's just
So,
say this: I smoke a lot of weed, man. Like,
hey, it's
it's
your
part
thing.
experience, part passion.
It's
So.
your thing. If I could be this educated with LSD, I probably would. But
Hey,
no,
dude,
this was good. Thanks
there's
for
a lot of information on that one, like as well. Fucking, you just gotta do a lot of digging. Like,
yeah.
also, once again, encouraging people to do their own research. Arrowwood.org. If you haven't heard of it, you've probably heard of it, but I'm not sure how deep you've dug into there with people's experiences and shit like that. But also, recent thing that I've been also heard of for books. You'll actually probably like this one a lot. But P Pill and T Pill. There's like 2 different books
Okay.
written by Alexander Shulgin. I'm just about to order them pretty much after I'm off of the thing, if I remember it, off of this call. But basically, and Alexander Shulgin is basically the guy who's clandestine chemist that made like a shit ton of like psychoactive and
Yeah.
was basically the first person to like look at this. But he documents a lot of different stuff. One of the books basically is like documenting like a lot of different stuff with his wife and his experiences with it, and the others like more of the chemistry. So like,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, like I said, I haven't read them. I'm going to be ordered here soon. So
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do the
yeah,
same.
yeah. So if not, I'll order them. I'll pass them to you once I'm done.
Sweet.
Yeah, save a tree, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah,
All right.
save a tree, grow some hemp.
Yes.
Yeah, so paper, textiles, all different shit. Anyways, it was definitely a pleasure, David. Fucking.
For sure. If there's any other shit you ever want to talk about, do this. I mean, holla at me. You know, you don't necessarily got to be an expert. Just I love talking to people. So
Yeah, for feel you.
So
If not, there's always next time when we can bullshit and I can like sit here with like a fucking like joint and get really.
yeah, you know what I'd really like to do? I'd like to get like a group of 4 or 5 people just drink and just bullshit about whatever. Honestly.
Bro, get fucking Eddie.
Yeah.
Both me and Eddie are fucking.
Just that right there is enough, honestly.
No, you need someone else. You need to figure out someone else is just like a fucking wild card. Like.
Okay.
Me and him are enough as is. So.
No, yeah, this is a good idea already. We're gonna set this up for sure.
Okay, word. I'm down. Fucking like as you can see, I got my shit. So.
Yeah, no, he got his little setup too. He's been streaming and stuff himself, so yeah. So.
Upgrade the camera next.
Me too, honestly. I was just thinking about that today. I've had this shit for like 3 years, so I need to upgrade.
Well,
but
it's like, here's my problem is like I got this like nice fucking mirrorless camera and fucking here that I can just like pop up and set up. There it is.
Oh shit.
So I can just like like do a clean HDMI out and fucking call that a day and just like you'll be able to see like all the fucking hairs up my nose and shit like that.
That's what I want. Yeah.
Extreme definition, so people can know exactly how ugly I am.
We need to see that stash up close, man.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking curl it out so it goes like right into fucking my nostrils. Some days people are just like, well, what is going on with this dude?
Nah, that shit is sick. Fuck everybody.
Yeah, hey, dude, fucking no one ever talks shit on it.
Yeah, that shit is clean.
If they do, they can't find anything good to say to it at least.
If they do, it's because they can't grow it themselves. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's usually chicks that fucking talk shit on it too. I don't know why. But they're also the ones that hit on me at work as well.
Wow.
But that's just them. Anyways, I will fucking catch you later, man.
All right, yeah, I'll let you go, man. Appreciate you doing this. Thanks. All right, have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right, later.